Hey everyone, my name is Munir. Today we're going to be talking about on-page local SEO. Let's get right into it. First of all, why should you even care about this? And that is a great question. So, on-page SEO could be the difference between you ranking first and fifth. Basically, the person who ranks first will literally get almost all of the clicks, and if you don't have your on-page SEO nailed down, you could be down fifth, sixth, seventh, and you will get barely any clicks. And if you are ranked first, you will get more clicks, which will result in more estimates and more calls, which could be the deciding factor of how much revenue your business generates by the end of the year. And if you want to get more calls and leads and estimates from Google, you should keep listening. Another quick introduction, why listen to me? My name is Munir. I am the co-founder of Marketing Tradesman, and we do marketing for local home services, and we know what works, and that's why we get SEO results like these, where we can rank companies first for Steel Fence Ottawa, or even dentists, getting them ranked, top three for all of their services. And even a driving school, we got these results in 2-3 months. So no, SEO shouldn't take a year. You should be seeing some results in 2-3 months. So what really is on-page SEO? On-page SEO refers to optimizing things that are on your page, right? If you are optimizing anything that visitors see or interact with on your website, then you are doing on-page SEO. Here is just an example of a few elements of on-page SEO. You have the title tag, you have the description, you have the URL itself, you have any call to actions, you have headers. So we're going to talk about all of these and what their implications are and how you should actually set them up. Let's first look at the title tag, the meta description, URLs, and schema. So these basically influence how your website looks when someone is seeing them on the Google result page. So if you look at this result here, this is Reliance Home Comfort. So their title tag is this right here, the Toronto and North York furnace repair. Their meta description is that text right under that title. There is a URL structure that shows there at the top, which says Toronto. And we even have a glimpse of their schema as well. So let's get into how you should do all these. So if you have a WordPress website, you should use any tool like Yoast or AI SEO to basically populate these items on your page, right? So this is typically what the editor in Yoast looks like. And if you scroll down, you can input the title and the slug, which is the URL, and the meta description as well. So one quick note, if Google does not like what you wrote in the title tag or the meta description, it will use whatever it thinks is best. So in this case, this is a page about Sandy Hill. If I just put in the SEO title, like all about marshmallows, it's gonna realize that the actual page is not about marshmallows. So it's just gonna populate it with something that's already in the page. The title tag, which is that first thing that appears, the rules are to just keep it under 60 characters, and the title must mention the main keyword at least once. So if it is a page that's targeting, HVAC in Toronto, the title should mention somewhere within those 60 characters, HVAC in Toronto. And to kind of help people click on the actual website, try to add nice words like best, top, or expert. Now for the meta description, so these should be kept between 120 and 155 characters, and these also must mention your keyword at least once. So in the meta description, you're able to add more information or add more text to kind of convince the user to click on your website. So you can say things like call now, or get a free quote, or price match guarantee. And here is another GPT prompt that you can use to help you generate more meta descriptions. Now the last thing is the URL of that specific page. So for URLs, you want to keep them simple and not overly long. So if you have a page for plumbing repair in Houston, the ideal URL structure is just plumbing repair Houston. You should mention the main service or the main keyword and the location in the URL. So it's best to stay organized and keep the formatting the same as you have more pages. So if you do roofing repair for both Miami and Fort Lauderdale, you should have the structure be the same. So in this case, it's the city first, followed by the actual service with dashes in between. And one small note that it doesn't matter whether you're using a folder structure or just a dash between each keyword. So if you have Miami/roofing repair or just Miami-roofing-repair, they're both essentially the same thing. So here's one example. This is a driving school, and you can see here their service is just plainly listed into the URL.
One more thing we wanted to talk about is schema markup. So schema markup helps Google understand your pages better and allows them to display other things in the search results.
One thing you should know is just adding a schema to your website will not improve your Google rankings. It just may lead to more clicks because your result looks different because it has more information. So a schema can add more information like reviews or your phone number or your address. So in this case, we can look at the Reliance Home Comfort. So because they added their schema, you are able to see their reviews on their page, and you're also able to see other services on the search results as well. And one last note is just because you added the schema to the pages does not guarantee that Google will actually display it. One other one is headers. So headers give Google an understanding of your page from just a glance. So if you want to quickly see how your headers are structured on your page, get the detailed SEO Chrome extension, and with it you'll be able to see exactly like this how your headers are structured on your page. So at the top of the page you'll find an H1 header. This usually labels what your page is mainly about. And then you'll have, as you scroll, different H2 headers which represents what that specific section on your page is about. So in this case, this is a custom home builders page, and they have different sections. So they have an H2 tag to title the transitional custom home section. So what this looks like on an actual page is like this. So you'll have your H1, which is the main title of the page. Beneath it, you'll have your H2, and as you keep scrolling, you'll see different H2s on that page. So the main rules for headers is that your main H1, your main header tag, should be above the fold and should mention somewhere in it your main keyword. So if you have a page for toilet repair in Toronto, somewhere in that H1 tag you should mention toilet repair Toronto. So it could be, best toilet repair services in Toronto. You should also only have one H1 per page, and your content should be broken down in a structure that makes sense. So, H2s should follow after the H1, and if you have a section within an H2, it belongs under the H2 as an H3, like in this, format here. So here you can see there's one H1, there is an H2 section within the H1, and then there's a smaller H3 within that H2. So now that you've got all the page structure correctly, you have the headers, you have the title tag, now it's time to actually write the actual content on that page. So your content as a local business should be easy to read and scan, should show users exactly what they want very quickly, and should also be detailed and informative enough to satisfy Google. So here's how you do all three. So you should be using some tool to help you actually write the content on that page. We usually use something called Surfer SEO. And how it works basically is you give Surfer SEO your target keyword. So in this case, it is Stittsville electricians. So we inputted that main keyword into Surfer SEO, and it gave us a content editor, basically a place where we can write, and we'll see a content score. So how this works is as you type the content for that page, it'll give you a score based on how likely you are to rank given your current competition.
So over here at the top, you'll see the insert keyword. In the middle, you'll see the H1 for that page. So you can use Surfer SEO to actually structure your header tags. And you'll also have the content score. So the score of how likely your page is going to rank. Note that you'll always need backlinks, but just on the on-page SEO side.
So as you type in your content here, your content score will go up and down. So on Surfer SEO, you'll see a list of keywords on the right. This is your list of NLP keywords. And this is basically a list of words that are commonly found on the websites that are currently ranking. So in this case, it's the Stittsville electricians page. And this is just basically a list of all the different keywords that we should mention. So there's Stittsville electricians, electrical panel, electrical wiring, and so on and so forth. So do not think of this NLP list as just random words that you should just forcefully insert into your content. You should think of these as just topics that you should touch upon in your content, right? In the scenario above, the main keyword is Stittsville electrician. So if I wanted to incorporate the keyword better business, I would add a small section that mentions how the company is on the Better Business Bureau. If I wanted to incorporate the keyword master electrician, I would mention somewhere in a small paragraph how we have a team of several master electricians. If I wanted to incorporate tube wiring, I would have a section in the FAQ where I say that I offer tube wiring as a service, or maybe I don't. So if you see here, Surfer SEO recommends that you use master electrician 1 to 3 times. We found that if you just mention the keyword once, you will get almost all the benefit. Don't try to force yourself to mention that keyword 3 times. So in this case, Surfer SEO recommends you use the word electrical wiring 3 to 7 times in your content. We found that if you just mention the word electrical wiring once, that basically does most of the job, and it's not necessary that you have to have it between 3 to 7. Again, as you do this, keep in mind, don't make your content super hard to read. You just want to add certain words or certain topics. Again, the priority should be easy to read and scan, should show users exactly what they want, and should be detailed and informative enough to satisfy Google. So here is how to best structure your service pages for any local business. So at the top, you should have your navigation, which lists all your services. Your main section here that someone will see when they load the page should have your H1 of the main keyword or the main service, and an H2 of some differentiating factor. Maybe you've been in business for 30 years, maybe you've done over 200 installations, something to just show that you have an edge. You should also add some high quality image that's uniquely yours. As someone who may hire a plumber, it's really reassuring to see, some face with a uniform or part of a bigger team. That gives me reassurance that this is a real company, and I have some idea of who I can even expect to come at my door to help me with some service. Right after the main section, you should have a small section about your testimonials, just to basically prove that you are legit and many other people in their area have also trusted you with their service. Then, after the testimonials, you should mention the details of your service, so what you do, how you solve it, and just give a general small outline of the company. Maybe it's like a small about us. Right after the service details, we always like to encourage business owners to think of any offer that they can give to their customer. Maybe it's get $100 off from an install if you book within a certain time. Maybe you'll give a free quote. Maybe you have an extended warranty. Just anything to give you the edge over anyone else and to just give that extra push for someone to give you that call. So right after the service details is a good place to have those offers. If your service is very visual dependent, like a home renovator or you do deck building, you must show your work in a very high quality format, and I cannot stress this enough. Do not be lazy and use shaky or low resolution or just bad images that were taken on your phone. This will do more harm than good. I've heard and seen many people that have went on companies that do renovation, and just because they had messy photos or photos that were just not professional, they did not reach out to them. So if your service is very visual heavy, just make sure that these are taken at a very professional manner and basically speak about your company of how good your service is. Then another good section to add is just more about your process. This allows you to add, a lot of those keywords that are recommended from Surfer, and just gives a good understanding of what customers can expect from your service. Right after that, if you have any other supplementary services, you should outline them below. If you have many locations, if you're a plumber and you service a large area, you should outline them below. And then after that, you should have a frequently asked questions. Again, this is a good way to mention a lot of topics that don't make sense in any section above. Maybe Surfer recommends you talk about a specific service that you don't offer, so you can mention in that FAQ section that you do not offer the service. That way you're still incorporating the keyword, but you're being explicit in saying that you don't offer that service. Then at the end, you should have some call to action just to basically push someone again to contact you or reach you by phone or by email, and then have a footer where you add all of your social proof elements and just more ways for someone to reach out to you. Again, you should not be writing all this content on your own. To help you write the content, you should be leveraging GPT. So here's something that we always do. You can start off the prompt by just saying that I am writing a service page for, insert company, and here are all the unique details about the company. So you should insert the history, what makes you unique, if you have any offer, how your process differs from other companies. And then you can tell GPT that I need to start writing a service page for this keyword, and you can tell it that I want it to be structured like this. Tell it the goals for this content, which is always be easy to read and scan, show users what they want, and be detailed and informative enough to satisfy Google. And then the last step is to actually take all of those NLP keywords. So you should take and copy all of these NLP keywords and paste them here. And you should instruct GPT and tell it that these are the NLP keywords that we want to integrate at least once. We don't have to incorporate all of them, but just prioritize the ones that are near the top of the list. Surfer SEO puts all of the important keywords that you should target at the top of the list, but towards the bottom, it's just more generic words that you don't necessarily have to add. So after you add in those NLP keywords and you give that to ChatGPT, it should make it very easy for you to just take that content, edit it, and then just put it onto your website. So I hope you found that helpful. Hope you learned a lot about on-page SEO. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section below, and I will respond to your comments. Thank you, and I'll catch you later.